Hello, Virgo, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of August 2nd through the 8th. And during that time, we first have a waning gibbous moon, and that is a time of self-reflection and rebirth. Good time to get rid of bad habits and negative thinking, but we're still working towards those things and accomplishing things that we started on the past new moon. We then have the last quarter moon. It comes in 6th or 7th, kind of depending on where you are. And that is a time for those things to start to wrap up and come to fruition. But it is also a time of inward reflection. We're thinking, did everything work? Those projects that we started, those things that we were working on, or did it not? And if it did work, then we're going to think of the new things, start thinking of the new things that we might want to start for the new moon. And if we need to go another round on those things, then we're just, what did work and what didn't? Let's kick out that stuff that didn't, and try to brainstorm to see how we can better attain those things that we started, and just start again on the new moon cycle. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter. So as always, please take what resonates on the table here today, Virgo, and or leave what doesn't on the table. Take what resonates for yourself. That's what I was trying to say. I'm a little scatterbrained today. My apologies. All right. And your overall message for this particular reading, Virgo, as I try to focus myself here, is a new romantic cycle begins. All right. I love that card. I mean, I think sometimes life is plodding along, and we forget to, like, especially if you've been coupled up for a while. If you're single, it might be something that's on your mind. But if you've been in a relationship for a while, sometimes it's like, oh, maybe things are getting stale in the romance department. It's time to kick it up a notch. So that might be the case for you right now, Virgo. So, and it's always fun to do that. All right, as I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder for you this week, Virgo, is that you pay attention to the synchronistic world that is happening around you. You may be aware of it, you may not be aware of it. I guarantee you that once you become aware of it, you can't not see it. So these are numbers that pop up and little phrases and words and things that you need to know in your life. You might have an overheard conversation, or a lot of times if I'm flipping on the radio, if you still do that, if I'm in my car, I it might be a song lyric that just pops out. I might forward it and think, oh, I actually needed to hear that for some reason. Or I had a question earlier, and that's an answer to that question. So just pay attention to those synchronicities this week. This card wants to come out so bad, and we're taking it. Um, Anyway, that's my fun weekly reminder. That's the universe's way of offering little breadcrumbs, little hints and clues about things to follow. So pay attention to those. So, okay, let's get into this reading, Virgo. This card wanted to come out so badly, we're going to take it. So, if a new romantic cycle begins, this is the best way to start it, because this is action on the emotional front there with the Knight of Cups. So, here's the Knight of Cups moving calmly with an open cup, open heart, towards romance. So I love that as your card. And that card literally was flying out of the deck there. Your current situation is the Hanged Man. So you might have reason to be looking at your new romantic cycle from a different perspective, or your romantic life in general from a different perspective. Maybe there's been some change in your relationship. Maybe something just inspired you. You might have seen a movie that was like, oh, that was so romantic, and I really want my life to be a little bit more like that. So in order to do that, that's you that has to make those changes, and you have to put those things out into the universe. I mean, of course, talk to your partner and talk about things, but there's things that you need to be doing, and hopefully those things do come back to you. At the root of your situation is, that things are coming in very quickly. And again, this could be information, it could be a movie that you saw, it could be a TV show that you're watching that's inspiring you, it could be a book that you've read, just anything. There's like an almost like, because the universe is trying to tell you this, that it is time to start this new romantic cycle, to maybe take that part of your life more seriously, or at least have more fun with it right now. And you're probably seeing those signs in many, many different ways that you just kind of haven't knowing about it, because again, it's a movie, it's a song, it's a book, it's a thing, it's something your partner said. Maybe it could be messaging, could be things your friends are saying, family. So that seems to be, it's like things have been coming in order for you to get this new perspective and want to take this on. In your recent past, is, yeah, you're doing this with very happy family, one of the happiest cards in the deck. So, it's not like anything's wrong. It's just that maybe it's time to just kick things up a notch because, life changes over time. And if you've been together for, even for a few years, you do have to kind of make adjustments and as we all learn and grow, we change as people and just treat things accordingly. So keep that in mind. And speaking of what's on your mind, is what is on your mind is moving into the future with new thoughts, new ideas. So, this could be that if you haven't been a very romantic person, maybe you're going to try to be. Maybe you're going to start leaving your partner little notes or little gifts or little trinkets, or, maybe you plan a romantic getaway or you plan a date night. So, whatever those things might be, especially if they're things that you haven't done in the past that you're like, hey, I could be doing that too. I'm not going to leave all that on my partner. I'll plan something romantic. That might be fun for a change. What is just ahead of you this week is the Empress card. So be careful that this romance doesn't lead to pregnancy because that's where the Empress card likes to go. But the Empress is about taking on things also. Motherhood would be one, but other things that would be long term and for long so this thing that you're taking on isn't something that you're like, I'm going to do this week. This is something that you want to work on to embed this, be a part of your life so that you can move forward for the next years and have this be something that grows and changes so that it just enriches your romantic life. So, that's really what the Empress is about, long term creative things that we do, that we nurture, right? What is in your advice position is, look at this. Speaking of long term, this is the card of long term wealth and security. And what this card says to me in your advice position is making sure that your romantic life is healthy is so good for not only you and your partner, but also the generations that are coming after you. So if you have children or if you have grandchildren, everybody sees this relationship and hopefully they want to emulate your relationship. And it is just really good to have that foundation of a really good example of, hey, this is what a happy relationship looks like. It has its ups, it has its downs. Everybody's not always in agreement, but we do love each other and we are romantic with each other, even through to our old age, which I think is adorable. So keep that in mind. What is beyond your control this week? Is, look at that, the Four of Wands, which is about wedding. It might be about renewing vows. It might just be renewing your love for each other, even quietly, not even in front of people. But, and it could be this could be one of the catalysts. We're talking about these eras that were coming into change. You might go to a wedding and it might make you both feel that way. We're in these summer months, there's so many weddings going on. So it might be that you're at a wedding and, maybe you just have a great time dancing and enjoying your time at this wedding, but it makes you kind of re-up and want to revamp your romantic life as well, which I think also is adorable. This whole reading is adorable for me. All right, Virgo, what is your secret desire or what are you trying to avoid? Well, your secret desire is to feel satisfied. And I doubt if anyone's ever trying to avoid that there with the Nine of Cups. So go ahead and do that. Feel like you're satisfied and enjoy yourself because that's awesome. I love that. In your outcome position here is the Ace of Wands, which is new passion. I mean, this is why I do tarot cards. Sometimes these cards come out, the readings to me seem plain as day, the story that is unfolding. This is about a new romantic cycle, thinking new thoughts, having a new perspective, doing it because you're happy with each other, doing it for the long term, for what it might mean, not only for you as a couple, but your family and the generations that come after you. But it's new passion, and that is beautiful. And that's why I love doing tarot cards. Sometimes the readings are plain as day. What is hidden from you this week is the Page of Wands. So this is about nurturing something new. This is, this might be that's hidden from you. I feel like this is about nurturing a romantic, that you're already in a romantic relationship. So maybe this isn't for my single Virgos out there right now. It could be that you just meet someone. But this is hidden, is that you would be nurturing something new. It's almost like you're nurturing something that is already existing, not something that is brand new to you. So, all right, let's get a final wrap up here from the Soul Oracle deck. A final message here for Virgo as they are entering into this new romantic cycle. And the card you get is to be decisive. So make decisions, be decisive. Sometimes, I always laugh when, what's the whole kind of joke about A couple goes to a restaurant and she can't decide what she wants, or where, or the whole thing too about where are we going to eat? What do you want to eat? I'm not really that hungry, but then she decides to eat his fries, that kind of thing. So be decisive. Pick the restaurant, choose the movie, choose the date night, choose the weekend getaway. So be a little bit more decisive, Virgo, especially if you always try to put that onto your partner. Be decisive. That's fun sometimes, for especially if you're the decision maker most of the time. It's really fun to have someone else step up and to make those decisions. Okay, what do you need to do in the way of self-care? Self-care for Virgo this week. And the card that you get for self-care says self-worth and self-love. A lot about you, Virgo. Why settle for crumbs when you deserve a whole meal? I love that. Don't settle for crumbs in your romantic life. Be decisive. You choose the date night sometimes, right? It doesn't always have to be about your partner doing it. You can be decisive and do things and enter into this new creative and romantic cycle in some creative way. Do things that are fun and light. It's even inspiring me. I have a little Virgo in my chart. I might do a few romantic things. I'm getting inspired just from your reading. So, Virgo, thank you so much for being here. I do hope there's something here that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life. I'm really excited to see what you guys do. Maybe drop me a comment. Let me know. Did you try something new romantically? Did you choose the date, choose the restaurant, that sort of thing? Drop me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you as well. And if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe is so, so kind of you. So, first off, thank you so much for doing it. And I'm watching as my channel starts to increase and I get more viewers and more people subscribing. And thank you so much for doing that. It just means so much to me. I really love reading tarot cards, and I love that you're here for your reading. So, thanks so much, Virgo. Good luck with this, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.